Do you remember the day you first truly saw him? The moment when everything seemed to fall into place, and you felt a connection that was deeper than anything you had ever known? Not just heard about him, but felt his presence in your very soul. It was as if the stories and teachings you had heard all your life suddenly came alive. It was a glorious awakening, wasn't it? A moment that felt like the dawn of a new day, filled with endless possibilities and hope. The world seemed fresh, washed clean. Every detail, every sound, every sight seemed to be imbued with a new sense of wonder and clarity. Every sunrise was a hymn, every breath a prayer. It was as if the very act of living had become an act of worship. This is the intoxicating joy of first love, the love between a soul and its Savior. A love that is pure, untainted by doubt or fear. This love is fierce, untamed. It is a force of nature, powerful and unstoppable. It consumes us, making all else pale in comparison. It is a fire that burns brightly, illuminating every corner of our lives. We are eager to please him, to spend every moment in his presence. Our hearts are filled with a longing to know him more deeply. His word is a lamp, his love a fire that warms us from within. It guides us, comforts us, and gives us strength. This, my friends, this is the heart of true faith. A faith that is alive, vibrant, and full of passion. It's easy to recall the intensity of those early days, the sheer relief of finding our place in his story, the joy of knowing that we are loved, unconditionally and eternally. The world, once shrouded in gray, bursts forth in vibrant color. Every moment is a celebration of his love and grace. We are filled with a desire to share this newfound joy, this unshakable hope. We want others to experience the same transformation that we have. But time, like a river's current, has a way of changing the landscape of our hearts. Yet, the memory of that first love remains, a beacon that guides us back to him. As the seasons of our lives change, so too can the vibrancy of our faith. What once was fresh and new can become familiar and routine. What was once a roaring fire can dwindle to embers, losing its warmth and intensity over time. The routines of life, the daily grind, can slowly dim the flame of first love. The spark that once ignited our passion can fade into the background. We become accustomed to his presence, taking it for granted like the sunrise or the beat of our own hearts. The extraordinary becomes ordinary. We may continue to attend services, to mouth the words of familiar prayers, but the fervor is missing. But somewhere along the way, the passion fades. The joy becomes duty. The heartfelt connection turns into a mere ritual. The love, once spontaneous and overflowing, turns into something expected. The excitement of discovery is replaced by the monotony of routine. This is the danger of allowing routine to overshadow relationship. The shadow of routine can creep in unnoticed, dulling our senses. We convince ourselves that we are doing what is required, that our actions are enough. But are they truly enough? But God desires more than mere obligation. He seeks a deeper connection, a heartfelt devotion. He yearns for the love of our hearts, the devotion of our souls. He wants us to seek him with genuine passion. He seeks not just our presence, but our presence of mind, our wholehearted attention. He desires a relationship that is alive and vibrant, not one overshadowed by routine. Christ himself, in the parable of the sower, warns us of this very danger. In Luke chapter 8, verses 4 to 15, we hear of seeds sown on different soils. Some seeds land on fertile ground and flourish. Others, however, fall among thorns. These thorns, representing the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, and the lust for other things, choke the life out of the seed. They represent the distractions that pull us away from our first love, the anxieties that steal our peace and cloud our vision. How often do we allow the cares of this world to take root in our hearts? How often do we prioritize the pursuit of possessions, of status, of fleeting pleasures over the pursuit of Him? We fill our lives with noise and activity, leaving little room for silence, for reflection, for the still, small voice of God. We become so accustomed to the lukewarm temperature of our faith that we forget the scorching heat of its beginning. We forget the hunger, the thirst for righteousness that once consumed us. We settle for a faith that is comfortable, convenient, undemanding. But this is not the faith that moves mountains. This is not the faith that sets our hearts ablaze. This is a faith that has lost its salt, its savor. It is a faith that is in danger of fading away entirely. We must ask ourselves, has our faith become a mere shadow of its former self? Have we allowed the cares of this world, the allure of comfort, to dim the light of our first love? Have we settled for a lukewarm faith in a God who desires our whole hearts? Section 5. The idols we unwittingly worship. The world is full of glittering distractions, idols that promise happiness but deliver only emptiness. We chase after success, wealth, and approval, mistaking these fleeting things for true fulfillment. We build altars to our own ambitions, sacrificing our time, our energy, and even our integrity on the altar of self-gratification. These idols may seem harmless at first, even desirable, but they are insidious, slowly weaving their way into our hearts and demanding our allegiance. They whisper promises of security, of significance, of belonging, but their promises are empty, their allure a deceptive mirage. We were made for more than this. We were made to worship the one true God, to find our fulfillment in Him alone. When we place anything above Him, when we allow anything to compete for His rightful place in our hearts, we are committing idolatry. Section 6. Reclaiming the wilderness within. The journey back to our first love begins with honesty. We must be willing to face the truth about the state of our hearts. Are we truly seeking Him, or have we grown complacent, content with the status quo? Like a gardener clearing away the weeds that threaten to choke the life out of his plants, we must ruthlessly uproot the idols in our lives. We must silence the clamor of the world and create space for solitude, for reflection, for listening to the whisper of His voice. This is not a one-time event, but a continual process of surrendering, of choosing Him over and over again. It's about making a conscious decision to prioritize Him above all else, to seek His face above all other pursuits. Section 7. The heart of worship. True worship is not confined to the walls of a church or the recitation of memorized prayers. It is a way of life, an offering of our whole selves to the one who created us, redeemed us, and calls us by name. It is in the quiet moments of prayer, in the selfless act of service, in the way we love and forgive and show compassion that our worship takes on true meaning. It is in the everyday moments, when we choose joy in the midst of sorrow, when we offer hope in the face of despair, that our faith shines brightest. God desires not just our actions, but the motivations behind them. He desires a love that is genuine, a faith that is alive and active, a heart that beats in rhythm with His own. Section 8. Love's resurrection. The good news, dear friends, is that it is never too late to return to our first love, the love that once ignited our souls and gave us purpose, the God who created us in His image, who breathed life into our very being, the God who knows the number of hairs on our heads, longs for our return, for us to come back to Him with open hearts. He is a God of second chances, of new beginnings, of boundless grace and mercy that flows like a river, never ceasing. Like the prodigal son who squandered his inheritance, who lost his way, we may have strayed from our Father's house, from His loving embrace. But the moment we turn back to Him, the instant we decide to return, The moment we take a single step in His direction, He is there, arms open wide, ready to embrace us, to welcome us home with joy and celebration. He sees past our failures, our shortcomings, our lukewarm faith, and our doubts. He sees the longing in our hearts, the silent cries for help, the desire to return to that place of intimacy, of passion, of unbridled love that once defined our relationship with Him. And He offers us forgiveness, restoration, a chance to start anew, and a love that knows no bounds, a love that is eternal and unchanging. Section 9. A call to reimagine. Let us not settle for a faith that has grown cold, for a love that has lost its fire. Let us rekindle the flame of our first love, fanning it into a blaze that consumes us, that illuminates the darkness around us. Let us strip away the distractions, the idols, the lukewarm complacency that has settled over our hearts. Let us return to the foot of the cross, to the wonder of His grace, to the transformative power of His love. The journey may be long, the path winding, but the reward is worth the effort, for in rediscovering our first love, we rediscover ourselves, our purpose, our reason for being. We rediscover the joy of walking hand in hand with the one who knows us best and loves us most. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.